In the news today for October 7th, 2013. Looking like this. Well, let's back up to last Thursday, where actually a girl from Connecticut, as we'll call, rode from Connecticut all the way to D.C. to confront some issue, to talk to them about some issues. She's disgruntled about the government and about how they're doing things, and she went up there to confront and went through a checkpoint. And of course, the state-run media says that she ran into some checkpoint barriers, when actually, really, the police are the ones that ran over a lot of barriers, and ran into cars like it was a game, like that's the way it looked like. One viewer said they just ran and mauled over vehicles and ran into other vehicles to make it look like it was a big chase of mayhem. And what's this about them getting rewards of being heroes for protecting, the Capitol from a terrorist, when this girl was not a terrorist? The only thing she's guilty about is just being mad and being upset about the government, being disgruntled about it. But that's not being a terrorist. Now, if you are a mafia state, bought out mafia kind of, martial law kind of thing, you would interpret it as that such. But we live in America, free enterprise that they're trying to take away from us. So they want to say, oh, you're a terrorist because you are mad and, you're trying to get away because your life's in danger. So the police, another thing they did is the police shot at her and she didn't even have a gun to shoot back. But yet they shot at her because she was leaving a way to get away from the scene because she was in fear of her very life. And she had a baby in the car. It doesn't matter what color this woman is. It doesn't matter what nationality she is. Because she, like any other lady, doesn't matter. They're saying, they're trying to put a spin on her saying, oh, well, she's psychotic. She's had bipolar problems. Well, no, she's just acting mad because she's tired of what's going on in this country. And that's why she did what she was doing. It wasn't because she was crazy. I think they're just trying to fabricate that. I think she just did it out of anger. Because when they went and looked in the car, they didn't find no gun or any kind of weapons. But these police shot her up and killed her. And the child is in protective custody. But the thing is, they killed her and she was innocent. All she was doing is fleeing for her very life. Because she knew the outcome, if she were to stop, wouldn't have been good. And it wasn't good either, though she didn't stop. They still shot her and killed her. And now the daughter doesn't have a mother because of these policemen. And yet you want to turn around and give them an award and say they're a hero? They're not a hero. They're killers. When you shoot at somebody that doesn't have a gun, you're a killer. That's not something you praise and give them an award or call them a hero for. They're no hero. They're the one that should be locked up and be evaluated. You don't shoot at someone when they didn't shoot back. And they don't lie and say that they hit barriers when they didn't hit a barrier. Let's get that straight. All right? Now let's go to Friday. Friday, Obama delivered a speech, and basically this is what it said. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make Social Security insolvent by taking the money that's supposed to be given to veterans as well as disabled recipients, and I'm going to take that money and take it out of that fund and basically not make that funds be available because we're going to use that to help raise the debt ceiling. Okay, that's Obama's translation, even though that's not what he said, but that's what he's going to do. That was on Friday at a college where he spoke, Friday morning. And of course, the tyrant, the dictator was getting his portrait, for 8 hours to be painted, when yet he ought to be painted in the jail cell. But the thing is, he was getting a portrait done on taxpayer dollars all day long. It's like a tradition that all presidents do, but he's not even noteworthy to be a president of a country. Shoot, we don't even know where the man was born. How in the world we can make him a president when we don't even know where he's born? I tell you how, because I have diplomatic immunity. That's how. But you see, that doesn't make you a president just because I got diplomatic immunity. No. Because, that's just getting out of it so you can get out and not getting arrested or get bothered, because that's the way the laws are. We got to rewrite those laws so that we get after these criminals like him and lock him up where he belongs. Impeach him, put him in jail where he belongs for those war crimes that he done. What about Fast and Furious? Everybody seems to forget about all that, right? But, we need to remember all this stuff because he's behind. He signed off on that. So he's guilty of that. Anyone at his party, his administration, they're all guilty of that because they're all part of it too. Congress people that have been paid off, signing off, going around kissing all these butts all over the world. Obama was doing that, kissing all these butts in all these other countries and, trying to get them to tally up and to cause all these wars. That was 4 years ago, and that's what we see happening now. World War III on the brink of happening, and Syria and Russia probably what will head that off, and then China will also get involved too as well, and Korea and all that, and then everybody be fighting against each other because that's what the New World Order wants. We want chaos, we want war, we want destruction. And see, that's what's really starting to happen. We don't want that to happen. And the dollar's going. But you see, we don't realize while the dollar's doing that, falling, it's also going to affect all other currencies around the world. Good job. That's what they want. The world to be total in chaos. That's what the second thing the New World Order wants to accomplish. Let's collapse the economies around the world. That's what they talk about, That's exactly what the Illuminati has in store for all of us, because that's the devil organization. Yes, that's what we want to do, is take it down, collapse it, put everybody under control, and that's what they're trying to do, see. So if we can understand that and try to counterforce this, we can stop this as a world. We don't have to listen to these morons, that try to take over and have a centralized world global bank. That is what the New World Order is about, folks. It's all part of that. So we don't want that to happen. So we got to stand up, grow some balls, and take to the streets and say, no, we don't want New World Order. No, we don't want foreign people coming here telling us what to do. No, we don't want no dictator for a president or a king. No, we don't want somebody telling us who's going to succeed or who isn't. But what we want is freedom, democracy, freedom of enterprise, like this country was founded on. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Mr. Madison. They're not terrorist people, they were good people. That's what made this country free. And thus, that's what we ought to remain. To remain free, we must believe those things, because that's what's going to keep this country free. Once they take your guns, people, first, it's making the ammunition really high. And then secondly, it's making it hard for you to get them. They're just going to outright take them. Then you got all these people. They're so dumbed down in the United States. There's a lot of people, average people, don't even know what party the president is on or for. And the party that he was for was Democrat, you dummies. Wake up, get your head out of those video games. Get off the TV screen and get to real life and realize what is going on. That way you know what's going on instead of not knowing what party Obama represents. He's Democrat. Do you hear that? You got it? Learn it. Get out of those twilight zones. Get off the computer. Stop talking on Facebook all day. Start reading real books. Start talking to people beyond the computer screen on your phone. Really have a one-on-one conversation. That really works the best, because that will help you to use those endorphins. That'll help you to break out of the trance from those devices that you have in your home and on your computer and on your cell phone. Have a real conversation. Believe me, it really does a lot of work. It does help. And of course, we know that Obama is actually going to wipe out Social Security. We know this because he's already talked about it. The deadline for the government to react is by October 17th. So far, we stand to be in day number 7 of the government shutdown as of taping of this podcast. Why? Because governments or Congress is on either side of the aisle, nor the president can come up with some kind of compromise that will be workable for all people. And not only just for their administration, but for the general public. And nobody's going to vote anything down. And Obama isn't going to listen to it because he wants things to go his way. So I can continue golfing on the golf course. And I can continue just being a stands-off kind of president. But that's not how it works. We need somebody that can really lead this country, not somebody that goes and golfs and takes all these trips that we're paying for on our dime. We need somebody that can really administer leadership in this country. That's what we need. Not somebody that just is a yes president, but somebody that actually gets involved. That really does things for the good for all people in this country. That's the kind of president we need. And of course, that's the news for today, for October 7th, 2013. In the news! Syndicated podcast on YouTube and beyond. See you with another update from the Silva's Media, the Freedom Network.